Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood teacher, Mr. Burr here with my newest video. And it's a video about the order of operations and PEMDAS. Okay, so I want to just review how to do a problem. We've had a lot of questions about how to do the order of operations, particularly when we see a fraction bar in the middle of a problem like we see there. So I first want to remind you about PEMDAS. Remember, we actually separate PEMDAS into pairs. So think of when you see the letters in order, PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, I don't want to take a lot of time to review what those are, and hopefully you know. P is parentheses, E is exponents, M multiplication, D division, A addition, and S subtraction. We think of them as partners. Think of putting them in pairs. If you only have parentheses and exponents left, you just go from left to right. Same thing with multiplication or division, left to right. Addition or subtraction, right to left. But if we had parentheses, put addition in front of parentheses, we would, of course, always do P before A because they're not partners. P is partners with E. If it's a partner, you just go straight from left to right. If not, you've got to go in the order of PEMDAS. Now, I'm going to show you a pretty complicated problem. It's much like some of the problems you saw in this week's homework. And what threw off a lot of students is when they see this fraction bar, right? So let's look at the problem. It says 8 times 15 over 7 minus 2 minus 5 plus 9. Well, if you come over here and look at PEMDAS, what always comes first? Parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and do the parentheses first. Inside this parentheses, it is 5 plus 9. 5 plus 9, I hope you know, is 14. So we've got whatever's going on over here minus 14. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated. We have 8 times, and then it looks like a fraction, 15 over 7 minus 2. Well, you've learned fractions a long time ago, sixth graders. What does a bar mean, a fraction bar mean in a fraction? Well, hopefully you know that means division. What this actually means is 15 divided by 7 minus 2. So when you see this in a problem, you might say, well, wait a minute, multiplication and division go together. I'm going to take 8 times, but I don't know what this is yet. So anytime you see a fraction bar in the middle of a problem, you need to assume, we need to do the division first, assume that there should be parentheses around that. Anytime you see a fraction bar, put parentheses around it. And now go back to PEMDAS. Now here's the problem. Now we have 15 divided by 7 minus 2. Well, if you're trying to figure out what to divide by and you have another problem, you need to assume this is like parentheses within a parentheses. I don't know what to take 15 divided by. I've got to do this first. So again, let's put parentheses around that as well. Now it looks like 8 times parentheses 15 divided by inside parentheses 7 minus 2. So let's do that 7 minus 2 first. We're going to have 7 minus 2, which is going to be equal to 5, okay? So now I'm going to mark that off. Now I've got 15 divided by 5. So again, let's pretend that's a parentheses. I'm going to come down here, put my minus 14 because I already did the other parentheses. Now inside this parentheses, we're left with 15 over 5. That means 15 divided by 5, which is 3. And then we still have the 8 times in front of it. So again, anytime you see a fraction bar, put parentheses around the whole thing. And then if there's more than one operation, or there's an operation underneath the parentheses, go ahead and put a parentheses around that too. Now we're left with 8 times 3 minus 14. Well, we know that multiplication, it's not even partners with subtraction, is it? So we know we have to multiply first. So we do 8 times 3, which is equal to 24, and then we're left with 24 minus 14, and hopefully you knew that 25 minus 14 is 10, and that's the correct answer in this problem. So again, the whole point was to show you when we have order operations and we see a fraction bar, remember, anytime you see a fraction bar, put parentheses around it and assume it's a parentheses. And then, like I said, anytime you have parentheses, if there's more than one or multiple operations within that parentheses, put a parentheses inside the parentheses. All right? So that's what you do in a kind of a problem like that. Now, I'm going to show you one more problem, which I wasn't going to do, but this was something that did show up. So I want to do a similar problem. This was on one of your assignments this week. So let me write that problem too while we're at it. It was 2 times 7 minus, and then we had 10 over 9 minus 4. Now, hopefully you remember what I just showed you, right? What I just showed you, okay? So because we see a division, now we know that multiplication always comes before subtraction. But we've got, oh, here's one of these fraction bars. It's 10 divided by 9 minus 4. That's an entire problem on itself, which is why anytime you see that, put parentheses around it before the operation. Put parentheses around it. And now we're going to figure out what's 10 divided by 9 minus 4. Well, 9 minus 4 is its own problem too. So put parentheses around that, okay? So let's do that first. Let's do the parentheses within the parentheses first. 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. So I'm just going to write that right here and then mark that out because I already did it. Now I'm left with 10 divided by 5. Well, hopefully you know that 10 divided by 5 is 2, okay? And then here now we're left with 2 times 7 minus 2. Now, if you remember PEMDAS, always multiplication is always going to be before subtraction because they're not partners. So we don't just go to left or right. We're always going to multiply before we subtract. So 2 times 7, which of course is 14. And then we're left with minus 2. And 14 minus 2, your final answer is 12. So that was just a tip I wanted to make using the order of operation when you see a fraction bar with stuff above and below it. Don't forget, a fraction bar always means division. Even if you just saw a fraction, like if you ever saw the fraction 1/3, you've probably seen that fraction before. 1/3 is the same thing as 1 divided by 3. In fact, if you got 1 divided by 3, you would get 0.333333. All right, it would go on forever. Okay, so even in a fraction, that bar means 1 divided by 3, not just 1 out of 3. Okay, so I wanted to make this video to show you about the order of operations when you see a fraction bar. Hopefully that's helpful. Again, this is here for you right here on the Google Classroom to come by anytime you're doing order of operations. Come look at the video I posted from Khan Academy or watch this video that tells you, helps you a little bit with order of operations, or what I like to call PEMDAS. All right. Keep being curious, keep paying attention to numbers, and don't get fooled by when you see a fraction bar. It's not that challenging. Of course, you can always ask one of your teachers as well.